So first of all, before we kick off, I just want to say a massive congratulations to everybody. Um, Running a Students' Union campaign isn't something easy to do, and you're at the end of it. And I hope you feel a great sense of satisfaction and a great sense of pride in what you have done over the past number of weeks. Obviously, today there's people who are going to be happy with the results. There's some people who might not be so happy with the results. But just remember that every Students' Union election is an opportunity to learn a new skill, to explore a new path, develop yourself, and potentially come back and run another time if you're not successful. So big congratulations, a big well done to everybody, and you really do deserve a massive pat on the back for all that work. So we're going to start off with the announcement of the results of the constitutional referendum. We'll get that one out of the way first. Second now. This is what I mean by I'll be jumping between an awful lot of things. So let me just double check. So the amount of votes cast in the constitutional referendum was 1,641 votes, which translates into 10.8% of the contested turnout required to reach a quorum and deem the constitutional referendum actually valid. So the constitutional referendum is now valid because we've gone over the 10% quorum. I think it's very important to acknowledge how difficult that can be in a students' union, cross campus, cross regional. So every single one of you deserve a big pat in the back and maybe a couple of shots after that because that's tough work delivered. Um, I am delighted to say that do you approve the adoption of the proposed constitution of the Technological University of the Shannon Students' Union, which shall replace and repeal the existing constitution in its entirety? We have a yes vote of 1,589, a no vote of 52. I therefore deem the constitution referendum to have been passed. Well done. Big shout out to Dara and all the team who've put in a mammoth amount of work getting this over and done with. The Constitution needed a massive rehaul, revamp, the whole, every word you can think of, I think, to make it better. So well done. That was a really hard won fight. Fair play. There's not many students' unions out there that are hitting that kind of engagement with their constitutional referendums. So we'll move on to the business of the elections. That's what we're here for, right, isn't it? We are going to start off with the Student Experience Officer for the Midlands campus. We have 5 candidates, including Ron. We have Katie Bagnall-Smullen. We have Zine Hugh Yap. We have Lucia Fabi and Aaron Kenna. If I also butcher anybody's names, I apologize in advance. It's not my strong point. My strong point is yapping. So if I do upset anyone with their name, I apologize in advance. So the results we have on this, we have a turnout of 809 votes, which makes the quota 404.5. So we'll round that up because you can have half a person, even though I might feel one after a day's work. The first count we have Katie, 317 votes, Zian, 105, Lucia, 201, Aaron, 159, and Ron, 27. So nobody has reached the quota. So we then remove Ron and Zian to distribute their votes. And 1 second now. So we distribute their votes and we end up with Katie with 338 votes, Lucia with 217 votes, and Aaron with 117 votes, or 178 votes, apologies. No one is deemed elected on round 2, so we therefore eliminate Aaron and redistribute Aaron's votes. Katie has now received 326 votes, Lucia 255. As nobody has reached the quota, I can therefore deem Katie Bagnall-Smullen elected, having not received the appropriate quota, but can deem them elected. Well done. Now, we move on to Student Experience Officer Midwest campuses. We have 2 candidates, Zoe Sunderland, Connor Lynch, and also Ron, so making it a 3 candidate race. We have a total votes cast of 834, making the quota 417. We have 1 second. We have Connor Lynch 246, Zoe Sunderland 562, reopen nominations 26th. Having exceeded the quota on the first count, I therefore deem Zoe Sunderland elected. Well done. It's weird because I can't hear you. I'm like, they better be clapping. Next up, we have Equality, Diversity and Inclusion Officer for the Midlands campus. Make sure I have the right report. I do indeed. We have 3 candidates plus Ron, so 4 possible options as students were given. We had a total of 809 votes cast, which is a 405 vote quorum. We have Amelia McDonough, we have Senan Morrissey, and we have Jamie Doyle, and of course Ron, as I mentioned. We have Amelia McDonough, 435, Senan Morrissey, 150, Jamie Doyle, 179, and Ron, 45. I therefore deem Amelia McDonough elected, having exceeded the quota on the first count. Next, we move on to Equality, Diversity and Inclusion Officer for the Midwest campuses. We have 1 candidate in this race, including our plus Ron, so 2 options given to students. We have Tara Kilkenny Roddy and Ron. We had 834 votes cast, which is fantastic for a single candidate race. We have Tara Kilkenny Roddy, 739, Ron, 95. Having exceeded the quota of 417 votes in the first count, I therefore deem Tara Kilkenny Roddy elected. Next, we're going to move on to International Student Officer for the Midlands campus. We have 1 candidate plus Ron, Nima Skelly Dubo. We had 809 votes cast, which makes it a 405 vote quota. We have Nima 613, Ron 196. I therefore deem Nima elected, having exceeded the quota on the first count. Well done. Next, we're going to move on to International Student Officer in the Midwest campuses. We have one candidate, Arlen. I can't pronounce his name, so apologies in advance. Arlen Leganjank. Apologies, it's wrong. I know it's wrong. We have 834 votes cast, which creates a quota of 417. Ireland received 740, Ron 94. So having exceeded the quota on the first count, I therefore deem Ireland elected. Well done. Next up, we're moving on to lifelong education officer for the Midlands campus. We have one candidate and Ron, so we have Stephen Cooney and Ron. We had 809 votes cast, which creates a quota of 405. Stephen Cooney received 724 votes, Ron 85. So having exceeded the quota on the first count, I therefore deem Stephen elected. Well done. Next, we move on to lifelong education officer, the Midwest campus. This we have two candidates plus Ron. We have Simon Madigan, Danny Crotty, and Ron. We had 834 votes cast. Which makes a quota of 417. On the first count, Simon Madigan received 389 votes, Danny Crotty 364 votes, and reopen nominations received 81 votes. No one has hit the quota or exceeded it, so we eliminate Ron and distribute Ron's votes. And after that, Simon Madigan received 395, Danny Crotty 384, and having not exceeded the quota, I therefore deem Simon Madigan elected. Why do people look sad? That's good. There's someone elected. We're winning. We're winning. Now, so now we move on to the vice president positions. Oh, I think the Midlands have froze. Let's hang tough a second. God, isn't technology great?
I'm getting pizza, so it's grand. So give me a minute anyway. Like.
Someone send pizza to me, please.
Yeah, essentially. We pizza and alcohol. It's amazing.
Oh,
Yeah, I know you're so jealous. I know.
The Holy Trinity, Garrow,
that's
pizza,
two,
and alcohol.
there we go. Yeah, that's even better.
Midlands, you're back. Can you hear me? Love an old thumbs up. Will you guys unmute yourself and talk so it brings you up to the top of the Teams channel again?
Everyone trust. Everyone say hello.
God, I'm not well. So, right, we're back down in Limerick. We are indeed. So we're moving on to the Vice President for Education and Welfare in the Moylish campus. Here we are. We had one candidate and run, so two options for students. We had Jamie Sweeney and reopen nominations. We had 427 votes cast, creating a quota of 214. Jamie received 364 votes. Ron received 63 votes. I therefore deem Jamie elected, having exceeded the quota. Next, we move on to the Vice President for Education and Welfare, Thurles and Clonmel campuses. I really should have worn my glasses. So in this race, we had one candidate plus run, so two options for students to vote on. We had 72 votes cast, which creates a quota of 36. We have Adriana and Ron. Adriana received 46 votes, Ron 26 votes. I therefore deem Adriana elected, having exceeded the quota on the first count. Fabulous. We're flying it, we're flying it. I hope the pizza is nice. Right. Now we're on to the Vice President for Education and Welfare at Clear Street and Ennis campuses. We had a total valid poll of 338 votes, which creates a quota of 169 votes. We had two candidates plus Ron. We had Isaac, we had Linda, and Ron. In the first count, Linda received 138 votes, Isaac 198 votes, Ron 2. Having exceeded the quota on the first count, I therefore deem Isaac elected. Next, we're going to move on to the Vice President for Education, the Midlands campus. We have two candidates plus Ron. We have Ardash Far Thomas. We have Mohid Sahid and Ron. We had 809 votes cast, which makes a quota of 405. We have Ardash Far Thomas, 421, Mohid Sahid, 289, Ron, 99. Having exceeded the quota on the first count, I therefore deem Ardash elected as Vice President for Education at Midlands campus. We're getting there, nice.
Hi Barry, hi everyone. Thank you for the results. Sorry I could not join you all together, but thank you Barry. Thank you everyone who campaigned for me. Thank you. It's a great moment for me. Thank you.
That was a nice surprise. So we move on to, oh God, why is that kind on that? Sorry guys, my iPad is playing tricks on me. Okay, so next up, we're going to move to the Vice President for Welfare in the Midlands campus. We have one candidate plus Ron. We have Nicole Flynn and Ron. We have 809 votes cast, which is a 405 vote quota. We have Nicole Flynn, 719 votes. Ron, 90 votes. I therefore deem Nicole Flynn elected. Now, we're going to move on to the Deputy President positions. One second there now, guys. Now, so we're going to move on to the Deputy President of the Union in the Midlands. Deputy President, Midlands. We have one candidate and Ron. We have Amanda Keys and we have Ron. We have 809 votes cast, which creates a quota. Jesus, that's a new word, isn't it? A quota of 405. Amanda received 704 votes. Ron, 105 votes. I therefore deem Amanda elected, having exceeded the quota. Next up, we have Deputy President Midwest. We have one candidate plus Ron. We have Saoirse Crowe and reopen nominations. We have 834 votes cast, which makes a quota of 417. Saoirse received 751 votes. Ron, 83 votes. I therefore deem Saoirse elected, having exceeded the quota. Well done. So next up, we are looking at the Deputy President for Postgraduate Affairs. We have one candidate and Ron, Marie Cowan and Ron. We have 123 votes cast, which makes a quota of 62. Marie received 110, Ron 13. I therefore deem Marie elected, having exceeded the quota. Last, but by no means least, we have the President of Technological University of the Shannon Students' Union. We have one candidate, Emma Hogan and Ron. We had a total ballot of 1,641 votes. That is absolutely fantastic. Well done. Emma received, or sorry, I'm going to say that's 821 on the quota front. Emma received 1,441 votes. Reopen nominations received 200 votes. I therefore deem Emma Hogan the next president of Technological University of Shannon Students' Union. Congratulations. So that's it, everybody. A massive congratulations to everyone. To the people who are taking up positions next year, best of luck. To the people who might not have been successful tonight, don't forget there's a students' union election every year if you are going to be a student again next year. Enjoy the celebrations, the rest, the recoup, and the rest of the academic year. You can rest in peace now knowing the students' union elections are over. I can see Garrod run. We love each other, really.
I love
So
you,
that's
Barry.
it, guys. Enjoy the rest of your night, and we will talk to you all very, very soon. See you later.
Thank you.
Bye.